Okay, today I want to talk about confidence because I've had emails asking me how do I become confident? How do I make person X like me? The issue I had is that you shouldn't be trying to make other people like you. You shouldn't be trying to seek validation. You shouldn't be defending yourself when someone makes a little comment at you. That is not confidence. That is just fake confidence. Confidence is when you can walk away from a situation. Confidence is when you don't feel the need to defend yourself with everything that comes up. Confidence isn't when you have to talk about yourself all the time. Confidence is not that. Confidence is in fact the opposite. So you shouldn't be trying to make other people like you. How confidence should be like is that people gravitate towards you because they sense that you don't seek that. They sense that you don't have need to validate yourself. And we pick up on these little micro behaviors. We can pick up on these little expressions, the words that come out of our mouths, and subconsciously we analyze them, and then we make our own conclusions about if we want to be with that person, if we want to continue talking to that person or not. So confidence is when you don't feel the need to validate yourself all the time. The same way, looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you're confident and that you're beautiful and you're this and you're that and that you're smart, that's just lying to yourself. And when you lie to yourself, guess what that does? That just decreases your perception of yourself, because now you know that you're dishonest. You need to have actions that back up who you say you are as a person. And to have these actions, and guess what? These actions, we can control our actions. We cannot just let day by day go thinking that this isn't in our control and this is our fate, and having this fatalistic attitude of whatever happens, happens, you know? Doesn't really matter. Some things are just not in my control. And you're right, some things are not in your control. But the reality is 90% of the things are. So confidence is one of the things you can work on, and you can work on just, it is long term. Don't try to create these Pinterest boards of, oh, here's this new version of myself. This is how I want to be like. This doesn't work because you're just lying to yourself and you're not acknowledging who you are as a person. So the first thing you would have to do is acknowledge, what are you insecure about? What are the behaviors you don't like about yourself? What are the habits you're doing every single day? Are you honest? Do you lie to yourself? Do you do what you say you're gonna do? Be so honest with yourself, and it's gonna hurt. Are you overweight? Am I not physically happy? Be honest with yourself. There's no point lying to yourself. And you have to understand that most of our actions are subconscious. Most of our thoughts are subconscious. They're automatic. We don't even think about this because from the way we were raised, and some of the thoughts are not even yours. Let me start off by saying this. Some of the thoughts are from your parents, from the people around you. I made a previous video about this, but some of the thoughts are not yours, and you have to separate your opinion about yourself versus the opinion of others. So what do you truly think about yourself? People don't even ask themselves this. And one of the ways you can improve your confidence is by even being self-aware. By taking a camera, what I would do is I would take a camera and I would just talk to myself every single day, 10-minute long videos, talking. And so what ended up happening as a byproduct of that is that I started finding out things about myself more. I started finding out the little behaviors I have more. I started analyzing myself more. And that was just a byproduct of taking a camera and just talking to yourself. And the same byproduct of confidence should be is you not trying to seek other people's validation, but the byproduct should be that people gravitate towards you. And when you're confident, you stop caring less about what other people think about you. Define for yourself what you're working towards, what your definition of success is, because for everyone it's different. I have a video about that. But we humans, we need direction, and we need to know where we're going towards. We need to know what we're working towards, because then what is the point? You're just gonna become a nihilist. So yeah, take a camera and decide what it is that you are working towards. The second thing, like I said, our actions build up how we view ourselves, because we have the actions that back up who we say we are as a person. And if you don't have these actions, then you're lying to yourself. Accomplishing more. And I don't just mean big accomplishments. Obviously that also plays a role in your influences, like career goals and accomplishments of, like, I don't know, moving to a different country, just things like this. But what I'm talking more about are the micro accomplishments, the micro victories that you have on a daily basis, like getting up in the morning when you don't want to, going to the gym when you don't want to, eating healthy when you don't want to, saying no to a cookie when you don't want to. These mini victories, they compound over each other and they build that perception of yourself, which you can use for the next time something difficult arises. It's where you delay gratification. It's where you know the bigger reward. And this is also important why you should be setting a goal for yourself and why you should know what you're working towards. Is so you stick to that. So you stick to the habits that you do on a daily basis. Sorting out the habits that you want to have and the habits that you don't want to have, also a step forward. Build the little victories that you have every day. Read Atomic Habits. It's a great, beautiful book. Realize it tells you about how you can stick to habits and how you can get rid of negative habits. And basically, the way you can get rid of negative habits, the ones you don't have, is make it difficult for yourself. So has there ever been an experience where you just didn't want to do something because it was difficult? You just didn't want to get in the morning because you know it's going to be cold and you know that you have things to do and you just don't feel lazy and motivated and the weather is bad outside. For you to make it easier for yourself, one thing you can do is set the alarm clock on the other side of the room. The second thing you can do is increase the temperatures. So put a radiator on at night, put more clothes on your body. These little behaviors, these little changes, they compound over each other and it makes life easier. And all change should be long-term. Like I said, no point in looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you're motivated and you're disciplined when you're not. You should have actions that back up who you say you are as a person. Now, another thing is having new experiences and not just the things that you do every single day, not the habits that you do consistently every day. Having new experiences like traveling. Like I said, it's better to spend, if you have money or if you're a broke student, don't spend your money on luxury goods and Versace and Prada and things that don't really, like really materialistic things. Spend your money on experiences. Going to a different country, or even staying in the same country and just going to a little city or a little town for a day, or just not even a day. Going to escape rooms, going to arcades, like building these experiences that you have, because experiences give us wisdom. It makes us more interesting to talk to, more interesting to talk about things and communicate with other people and build connections with them. It just makes us more interesting. And when we have gone through more experiences, when we have gone through more life situations of like running like 10 kilometers, you can talk to runners about how you ran 10 kilometers and how you felt during those 10 kilometers. There's more to talk about, and that should make you confident because you know that, oh, I've gone through this, I've experienced this, so let me also learn from other people and let me educate other people. Now, a big thing that only recently people have started talking about is taking care of your nutrition and health and exercise and your sleep. The significant impact it has, oh my god, it generally makes you feel like, when I go out with my friends, I know I changed subjects really fast right now, but when I go out with my friends and we don't have a full night of sleep, I feel so bad the next day. I feel unmotivated, I feel tired, and also if I had a diet, I used to have a diet really high in carbohydrates, and I would feel brain fogginess, I would not feel clarity until I went on a 3-day prolonged fast, and I felt so clear in my head, and I felt so good, just physically, mentally. And since then, I've been doing a low carb diet and I've been way more productive. I feel like I haven't been napping, because normally I would nap for like 1 hour a day. I don't nap anymore. My cognitive ability went up. I feel like I was thinking faster. And the reason for that, I'm going to attach podcasts because I don't want to say anything wrong, but the reason for that is because your insulin levels goes up, and when they go up after you've ingested carbohydrates like glucose, then you feel an energy spike, and then when it goes down, you feel like you need to consume more carbohydrates for your energy and it's an ongoing cycle that never ends. But what I found is that when I eat vegetables, which vegetables already have carbohydrates, just not such in a concentrated manner like as in pasta, then I feel way better. So also the gym, and wait, actually I said it wrong. You don't only need a gym to exercise. There's so many different forms of exercise that you can do, not only the gym. And just moving your body. From an evolutionary standpoint, we've always had to be physically active. And right now there's an epidemic of obesity, and people with fatty liver disease, even children, like 20% of children have fatty liver disease. It's a pandemic. And one of the reasons is because people are not moving as much as they used to. So get moving. Not only does it improve the way we look at ourselves because we feel like we're more motivated, and when we push ourselves harder in the gym, it translates onto different aspects of our lives. That links back to the accomplishments point. It's victories. Getting a full night's of sleep is a victory. Even this. So realize that confidence is acquired when you change, when you develop as a person. And if you're afraid of change, that's a whole different topic. But we should be seeking to make positive change. And I've said this previously in my videos, but my mindset towards this is that I want to go to bed knowing that I made a step forward in some way of my life. Even if you say that you don't have time to do these things, that's just an excuse. You can always create time, and you may not have time. And this is also something that you have to acknowledge, is that because you waste your time on meaningless tasks, or social media takes up a lot of the time. The point is that we have time, and you decide what you do with that time. One of the things it could help is by organizing your time better. And how you can organize your time better is by doing to-do lists. I stand by to-do lists. I think I've stated them in like nearly every video. So I would do them right before I go to bed, and I would plan out my next day. And I also have what I eat the next day, so it helps me stick better to my nutrition and my diet. And generally that has made the biggest difference in my life, because I felt like everything was more clear. I felt like I was moving towards something, and like that goes back to my having a direction point, where I felt like I had a sense of direction, and that made me confident in myself, and I knew what I was working towards, and that made me stop thinking so much about how other people and what other people are doing and how they're living their lives, because I started living my own life. So hopefully you guys learned something, and if you have any questions, do comment down below or drop me an email.